The earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer.
So black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40.
Yes.
Beauty and hair products marketed to black women often contain the most toxic ingredients.
That is known as...
What's good, everyone? So I'm going to jump straight into this one, or straight-ish, if you bear with me for a couple of minutes. So this is a bit of an unusual video for me, not something I typically touch on, but I wanted to touch on it because it's massively important, especially to black women. Now, I grew up in the Caribbean, Trinidad for the most part, and I grew up seeing my parents, my sisters, my nieces and whatnot, using chemical products in their hair, because they all wanted to keep up with this European standard of beauty of long, straight hair. So destroying their natural curls, their natural hair, their natural God-given beautiful hair by straightening it to keep up with this European standard of beauty. Now, each to their own. If that's what you want to do, feel free to do it. But be aware, the products and the chemicals you're using in your hair is likely to cause you illnesses such as cancer. Now, if this was happening to European women, I bet the conversation would be a lot different. But of course, it's not. It's happening to our women, and you see very little about it. But 50% of the chemical products you put in your hair are contaminated with substances in it that's no good for you, that's causing you serious illnesses, like I've mentioned, such as cancer. It's a completely unregulated market. It's at the behest of black women, and they're the ones that are suffering. So I wanted to get a message out there to you to stop or consider or look at the package of the products you're using. Now look at this video and tell me what you think.
The earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer.
So black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40.
Yes.
Beauty and hair products marketed to black women often contain the most toxic ingredients.
That is known as environmental injustice. So that's one of the, I would say, the most tragic circumstances that we're facing as a society, is that the people who are exposed to the most amount of toxins are low-income people and people in ethnic groups. And so some of these products that are marketed specifically to black girls contains some of the worst ingredients I have ever seen. The fragrances, the endocrine disruptors, these harsh detergents, some formaldehyde releasers. Formaldehyde's a human carcinogen. What place does it have in a beauty and personal care product? It doesn't. It needs to be removed. There needs to be better regulations and better protection for vulnerable populations.
50% of products advertised to black women contain endocrine disruptors, which are those disruptors that are going to impact their hormones, increase their chance of things like cancer, infertility, etc., compared to roughly 7% that are advertised to white women.
That's really the problem, is why is it more prevalent for those populations than others? And I think this is an ongoing societal issue of environmental racism.
Are people aware of this?
I think the vast majority of people are entirely unaware of this. And studies show it, because there are studies showing that the earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer. And the people who had the highest prevalence were African American females.
Quite alarming, if you ask me. Quite worrying, quite alarming, and unsurprising in many ways that this is not being treated as some sort of, public, inquiry into what's happening here. I could only imagine if this was happening to maybe white women, would this be treated in the same manner or brushed under the carpet, essentially, in the same way it appears to be happening here? So, pretty alarming, quite concerning. I've done some research, actually. I'm going to read out to you what I found. Nonetheless, yeah, it's an eye opener. It's an eye opener. So I hope people take note. I hope people reassess. Like I say, each to their own. If you want to do that, that's up to you. If you want to straighten your hair, that's up to you. I cannot tell you what to do with your life, but I can advise you to be mindful. Be mindful of the products you're putting in your hair for your own health. If you value your health, of course. If you don't, then feel free to do what you wish. But of course, if you value your health, please do your research. Look at the chemicals in the products you are using in your hair. My personal advice would be to embrace your natural hair. But of course, that's just my personal advice. You're free to do what you want. So let me read quickly before I go some statistics here and some research I've done into this. So recent studies have shown significant concerns about the safety of products, beauty products marketed to Black women. An analysis in February of 2025, that's this year, that's this month, right? An analysis of February 2025 revealed that over 80% of the 4,000 beauty products targeting Black women contain at least one hazardous material or substance. At least one hazardous substance, ingredients, or whatever you want to call it. 80%. That's almost all the products used by Black women contains at least one hazardous ingredients in it, with many products containing multiple harmful substances. Many. These products include hair relaxers, skin lightening creams. I mean, why would anyone? Bob Marley said, emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Emancipate ourselves from, or yourself from mental slavery. I'm not the best singer. I'm a huge Bob Marley fan, and he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. The fact that people in this day and age, in 2025, are still using skin lightening cream, unless there's some sort of medical issue, which there very rarely is a medical issue for you to lighten your skin. We need to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. And those words mean you need to read and educate yourself. If today in 2025, you are still considering lightening your skin for any other reason other than a medical reason. Well, I go back to what I said, each to their own. Each to their own. You do as you please. But my God, if you are in this day and age still considering lightening your skin, then you really need to educate yourself and stop conforming to this European standard of beauty. Long hair, light skin. It's killing us. We must do better. I hope someone has seen this and taken heed. This was taken off the Stephen Bartlett podcast. It's a great show. It's a great podcast. Stephen Bartlett, if you don't know him, is a multimillionaire and entrepreneur. His podcast amasses millions of views a week, months. He has on some of the best medical people in the world. You go over to his podcast, check it out. I take no credit for the video. That's his video. So YouTube, leave me alone, please. But I hope you guys heard what she had to say, what Stephen had to say. The question he asked was quite poignant, I thought, quite direct as it pertains to Black women. So please look after yourself, take care of yourself. Without your health, you're nothing. Health is wealth. So please look after yourself, take heed, and I'll see you guys on the next video. For now, much love, peace.